I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll talk with Robin Small, the new Director of Animal Control, and Mark Chang will preview the Black Tie Gala coming up in Glen Burnie. But first, the county reached a major milestone this week in the effort to increase recycling. According to the latest figures, 40% of the 150,000 curbside trash collection customers are now recycling. That's a significant increase. In 2006, the rate had been stuck at 31% for a decade, but things have changed. Anne Arundel still boasts by far the easiest program in the state of Maryland. Our bins are free to residential customers, and you can put all of your bottles, cans, and paper products in the same container. County Executive Leopold started the Recycle More Often campaign 4 years ago in an effort to educate people about the benefits of recycling. His staff took to the television, radio, and newspapers, and then cyberspace. Of course, you can like them on Facebook to find out what's recyclable and what's not, and also get updates about holiday collection schedules. By the way, the recycling effort has been so successful that County Executive Leopold has decided to move to once-a-week pickup of trash instead of twice a week. Many residents have said they don't need a second pickup date, and the reduced schedule will mean a cheaper rate for residents on their property tax bills. We'll let you know just how much cheaper when the budget is presented in April. The schedule will not take effect until June.
Well, by the way, Karla, talking about recycles and trash, recyclables are profitable, and they've been very profitable for the county. Last year, the county made $2 million from selling recycled goods. And you know, the old joke goes that everything is recyclable in Annapolis at the State House, where the same bills seem to come up year after year. Well, they're back again, folks, all 188 delegates and senators. Our own Dave Abrams caught up with one of our local delegates to get a preview of the 2012 General Assembly. We'll send it out to Dave in Annapolis.
Thanks, Erik. Well, in just a couple of moments, this chamber here will be bustling with activity. And joining us this week as the Maryland General Assembly comes back to work is the chairman of our delegation, Ron George. Thank you for coming on the show.
Glad to be here.
Delegate, tell us a little bit about how the General Assembly session, a 90-day breakneck pace, how does that kind of affect the city of Annapolis? It's obviously a big change.
Well, as you know, I have a business on the upper part of Main Street, and we do go from our Christmas season with a lot of the locals coming into town, and then we go into session, and many of the locals are afraid to come downtown. There's a lot of parking that's taken up. Things change. The attention for the businesses and for the city turns towards the legislature. The hotel industry, of course, gets a little influx from that. And what is normally in most towns is a slower time of year, so it helps the city of Annapolis in many ways. And then, of course, the businesses downtown, they now have different clientele, ones that they haven't seen since last April.
And the delegates and senators got to eat, right?
They got to eat, so they go into all the eateries, they're at the hotels, and some people come in and visit the businesses.
Well, let's talk about the session. Obviously, way too much to go into in a short segment here, but it seems like a lot of the controversy is going to be issues such as gay marriage and the death penalty. But there are a lot of issues that are going to come up regarding people's pocketbooks, and I think that's what they're looking at right now. Could you talk about that? What do you see coming in this session?
Well, as you know, I serve on the Ways and Means Committee, and we deal with all the tax and what they call revenue issues. And, you know, those big issues, the gay marriage and things, seem to overtake that many of the economic issues, unfortunately, are pushed to the end. And that includes the budget. There's not enough time once things come to the floor to really deal with those issues. So on my committee, I try to address those issues. The gas tax, of course, is the big one. They're talking about a 15-cent rise in the tax. That's a huge increase. Maybe they're reaching high so that when it's cut in half, it won't seem so high, but even 5 to 7 cents would make a difference. When you talk about the discretionary income that people have, after they pay for all the necessities, what's left over? You know, if you looked at it on a yearly basis, and there's really only a couple thousand, a few thousand that they can use for different things. Many people have already cut their vacations. They've cut, you know, so much within their household income, and now they're going to be losing some more. This ends up being quite an increase. Proponents will argue that it's about $100, $200 a year. You know, kind of looking at it myself, even for my sons that are in their 20s, it's much more than that. But still, that is a difference to have to pay. Even though you're paying it gradually during the year, it does affect you.
And that's not all. We could have a doubling of the registration fee that the state charges. A lot of stuff affecting transportation. What are your concerns? You know, obviously Republicans have a numerical issue, and the governor wants to do something. You know, it's probably in some way, shape, or form going to happen. What kind of impact can Republicans have on this, and what are you looking to do to kind of shift this in a way that's more palatable to the voters?
No, that's a very good question. I think it's important for Republicans to couch the argument in a way that addresses the issues that are important to Democrats. I mean, if you're for education, if you're for the environment, why shrink your tax base? You look at the trucking industry, most trucking industry in Maryland, they're small businesses that have 5 to 7 vans or things of that sort. And you know, it just cuts into their income as a business. That's less revenue in business taxes to the state also. When you look at this going to gas tax, I don't think the income is going to be quite as much as they think. You end up shrinking the tax base. You shrink the tax base, there's less money for all these other things that many Democrats would want.
Well, it's going to be a tough one, as always. No different than any other year, right? This is
Yes.
your 6th year?
6th year, yes.
6th year.
6th year, 7th session. We had one special. No, what we have? We've had 2 special sessions, so 8th session now. So.
Well, we appreciate your service, and thank you for looking out for the taxpayers. We really appreciate it.
Dave, thank you.
Thank
so
you for
much.
coming on the show.
All right.
Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Dave. We'll check back with you throughout the 90-day sprint for more updates.
Okay, Erik, we're going to do a little test here to see how much you know about the General Assembly. You're always
test?
You're always testing me with the mascots and
A test?
everything.
Me? A
Yes.
test? I'm
Yeah,
not
so-
prepared. I'm not prepared. I need my pen. Do I need my pen?
I don't know. You might, if you
right,
want
I
to
got my
add
pen.
things up here.
Got my pen, I'm
Okay,
ready.
I have some questions here.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right, well, we already have said that there's 188 members of the General Assembly.
correct.
How many senators does Maryland have?
47. That's easy.
That is correct.
I know.
That is correct. All right, he has 1 for 1 so far.
I'm good. I'm good.
Let's look at Anne Arundel County specifically. How many
Okay.
delegates and senators does our county have?
Delegates and senators. Well, Anne Arundel County is broken into 5 legislative districts. District 21, which is actually a small portion of the county out in Prince George's County, and then we've got District 30, Annapolis, that Broad Neck and South County area. District 33, we've got, that's Severna Park, Center County. 31, that's Pasadena, Brooklyn Park. And then 32, we're talking about over by the airport, Hanover. So 5 districts.
That's right.
3 delegates in each of the districts, and 5 senators. So that makes 20, Karla.
Right, so 15 delegates and
15 delegates
5
and 5
senators.
senators.
Good
That's
job,
correct.
Erik.
2 for 2.
All right, this is a tougher one.
Okay.
In what year was Annapolis the capital of the United States?
Wow.
I did not know this one.
Annapolis, the capital of the United States. I remember this. George Washington was there. There's a room in the General Assembly that actually shows this. I want to say it's definitely the late 1700s.
Yes.
It's before the War of 1812. 1790.
Very, very close. The correct answer is 1783.
Oh, 7
and
years
you're
off.
correct also that George Washington was there. It's where
correct.
he resigned his commission
That's
as
correct.
commander of the Continental Army. All right, one last question.
All right.
Okay, of the 20 members of the county delegation, how many are Republicans and how many are Democrats?
How many are Republicans and Democrats? So we're looking at the senators there. 1, 2, 3. Costa. Can I use my shoes? Can I get my
Yes.
shoes up here and get
Yep.
my... No, just kidding.
Start counting toes.
I,
You can borrow my
uh,
fingers.
I think it's a pretty even split. I
It's
want to
a-
say it's 10 to 10.
It's a very even split,
Yeah,
and that's
10 to
exactly
10.
right.
So I didn't need my
10 to
I didn't
10.
need my toes.
No.
I'm good. I got 10 fingers.
All right, well,
Is
very
that all
good
right?
job, Erik.
Is
Yeah,
that all right? Let's
excellent.
do some more next week.
Okay.
All right. Well, speaking of the General Assembly, education funding will be a big issue this year, just like last year. But there's a little bit of carryover to deal with. First, regarding last year, the County Board of Education recently told the State Board of Education that the county government did not provide enough funding to meet minimum requirements in state law. The problem with this is the county board ignored about $54 million the administration paid in interest towards school construction projects. If the county did indeed fail to meet standards set by the state, known as maintenance of effort, it would face a penalty of almost $4 million. This week, County Executive Leopold sent a letter to the State Board detailing exactly how the county met its obligation and should not be subject to the penalty. He said in a statement, We are confident that once all of the facts are understood by the state, the county will not be penalized for education funding.
We have a new feature on Week in Review, the Business Spotlight. John Frenaye, the founder of EyeOnAnnapolis.net and the Annapolis Facebook page, will bring us segments from around the county featuring local businesses. This week, John stopped by Metropolitan Kitchen and Lounge in Annapolis to spotlight the experience on West Street. John?
Thank you, Karla and Erik. This is John Frenaye with Business Spotlight for Week in Review, and I'm here this week with Jody Danek from Metropolitan Kitchen and Lounge here on West Street in Annapolis. Thank you for having us in this morning, Jody.
Hi, John. Thanks for coming in.
Great. Well, I'm just wondering, Metropolitan is back again in full force. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. Tell us a little bit about your food and what we can expect when we come into your restaurant.
Well, we're really excited about the new concept at Metropolitan Kitchen and Lounge because it brings together a lot of the great things about the old Metropolitan with a lot of the new things with sustainable, local, farm-to-table freshness that people are really catching on to. So we're excited.
Great. Great. Well, I know last week Annapolis announced that the circulator trolley was free, and that's really kind of opened up the whole Upper West Street from the two circles for everybody here. Have you found that that's going to be a boon for your business?
I think it's great that the city has done that because it really is connecting different parts of the city that people sometimes don't even get to see, like Upper West Street. And we have some great things going on in West Street, and you can get off on West Street, get your car in the garage, go downtown, come around, have a coffee downtown. And so we think it's great to be able to bring people up here.
Absolutely, and there is certainly a little bit something special going on in Upper West Street. You're opening up a brand new entertainment venue. I mean, you've had entertainment since the Fringe Fest and maybe before. And that's pretty exciting to see a small room and live entertainment here.
Yeah, John, we're very excited about this year coming up. We have live entertainment on the second floor here at Metropolitan. Great local bands on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. Tonight, in fact, we have Susie Estrada coming in from Annapolis. Yeah, everybody loves her. We've had the names, and so we're very excited about it. Some of the things on West Street that are happening this year, we have the Indie Film Festival coming up actually it's February 17th, 18th, and 19th here at Metropolitan. We also have the Hops Festival coming up in April, as well as the Fringe Festival again, of course, in summertime this time, I think.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I can say that I know I've been here several times myself. My kids love your macaroni and cheese. The breakfast, lunch, the dinner, all the food is very unique, very different. A wonderful place. It's got a wonderful rooftop bar, which is a little bit chilly for us today, but that's will open up when the weather gets a little bit warmer.
I think in March we'll be opening up the rooftop bar again, and people love that rooftop bar, and you'll be able to go up there and have drinks as well as the full menu. But please come see us before then because we have great breakfast, lunch, and dinner here at Metropolitan.
Absolutely, and we can catch you out on Facebook, right?
You can see us at Metropolitan Kitchen and Lounge at Facebook. You can also see us at Tsunami Annapolis, which are our sister restaurant, and Lemongrass on Facebook as well.
Right next door. You've got Lemongrass for the Thai cuisine and yes. Tsunami for the Nano Asian?
Yeah, it's Pacific Rim and sushi. Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Right? Yeah.
Well, Jody, thank you very much for having us here this morning. I appreciate it. We'll definitely be back to Metropolitan. We encourage everybody else to be back as well.
Fantastic, John. Thanks for coming today.
Back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, John, and welcome aboard. We'll look forward to seeing more county businesses from your reports. And of course, check out the Annapolis Facebook page and also the Facebook page for Metropolitan.
Well, folks, there's more Week in Review to come, including our interview with Robin Small, our Director of Animal Control. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around your county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's cold and flu season, and the last thing you want is to be sick or make others sick. So here's what you do to stop germs and stay healthy. Cover your coughs. Wash your hands after sneezing, coughing, or blowing your nose. Wash with warm water and soap for 20 seconds, and then dry. When you can't wash your hands, use an alcohol-based sanitizer. If you do get sick, stay home. Stop germs, stay healthy.
And welcome back, folks. Well, it's that time of year when winter has arrived and folks are beginning to start to dream of spring. And what more can you think about with spring than getting a great new cat? And we've got two guests here. We've got Robin Smalls, our new Director of Animal Control, with us, and she's brought her friend Bonnie to join us on the show today. Robin, welcome to Week in Review. Bonnie, welcome to Week in Review. Stay in your seat. Just relax a little bit. I'm going to get to you in a minute. I know you're real eager. But let's talk about you first, Robin. You're the Director of Animal Control. You've been there for a few months now. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, and what you found to be most challenging over there so far.
All right. Well, I started as the administrator in August at Anne Arundel County Animal Control. I grew up in Annapolis, so I've always been an Anne Arundel County resident, except for when I was in college in Pennsylvania. Worked at the SPCA through high school and college, and studied animal behavior in college. So that's what really helped me get into the animal field.
Well, it's a good field to be in, and so far you've been there since August. A lot of things have turned around in animal control. A lot of pet traffic coming through there, but people traffic. The Facebook page is up. You guys are really doing a great job in adopting these animals now.
Thank you. We're certainly doing our best. I know they were doing their best before, but everyone's always up to new challenges, and we're trying to get the word about the animals out as good as we can. We're on Facebook. We have some animals on Pet Finder, mainly those that have been there for a while. We are featuring pets in the Capitol, trying to get a little bit of extra exposure, and of course, with Anne Arundel County, we do our Pet of the Week. So
Absolutely.
Bonnie has been featured in quite a few of those spots, and unfortunately hasn't been lucky enough to find her home yet.
And I can't believe it. This cat, let me tell you folks, this cat has been here sitting in this chair for about 20 minutes, absolutely lovable. Now she's trying to jump down, but the entire time, she literally sat there for 20 minutes while we adjusted the cameras, while we got everything ready. Bonnie, look at this cat, folks. You need this cat.
She's 3 years old, very well behaved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of our viewers are familiar with the fact that Animal Control does adoptions, but a big part of the process is also fostering the animals as well, right?
That's right. Most of the staff, many of the staff foster. We foster all kinds of things, and we have put our foster application on our website and are really encouraging the public to get involved as well. There are a lot of animals that are not ready to be adopted when they come into the shelter, may need some rehabilitation, may need to get a little bit older because we get underage things, may have an illness that would do better in terms of recovering in a home environment rather than a shelter where it's stressful and there's more germs from all kinds of things coming in. So the public can really help by joining our foster program and providing a temporary place for the animals until they're ready for adoption. In addition to helping be a network for finding the animals homes, because that's a really important part in terms of getting the animals adopted, is getting the word out.
And how easy is it to be a foster? I think a lot of times people are a little nervous if they haven't done it before.
Right. Well, it's got its ups and downs. The hard part can be giving the animals back after you've had them for a while, and as long as you're not over the county limit, you can certainly consider adopting if you have room in your home.
There she comes. And Bonnie says, I want to come and see everybody.
That's right.
Hey there,
Bonnie's
Bonnie.
a sweetheart.
Yeah. She's a lap cat, folks. If you like a lap cat, you like Bonnie.
We're hoping to avoid wearing Bonnie today, but apparently that was not in her game plan because she's a very social cat.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
In terms of fostering, it's really fun. You know, we have a lot of people that aren't as informed or aren't educated about spaying and neutering, things like that, or maybe they're interested in having their own pet, have cats, have kittens, puppies, things like that. And of course, because there's so many homeless animals, we encourage people, instead of letting their own pet give birth to animals that are already homeless and things like that, or will be, that they'll be in search of homes for, we encourage people to join a foster program. Maybe foster an animal that's already pregnant or that's already given birth, and let your children experience the fun stuff with seeing them grow up from a young age without adding more pets to the pet overpopulation.
Oh,
So.
she is absolutely comfortable. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh, good thing you wore a suit today.
I know.
Perfect. Well, let's talk a little bit about, animal control people know about the animals that are there, but you guys also provide a lot of other services, from vaccinating the animals to making sure that pets are healthy, to educating the public about them. Tell us a little bit about what you guys.
That's right. All of the pets that come into the shelter, we do a couple of vaccines and a general look over. We also scan everybody for microchips. The animals all get rabies vaccinated, assuming they're old enough before they go into their new homes, or they come back for that vaccine when they're old enough. But we also provide a weekly rabies clinic. We do that every Thursday from noon until 3 o'clock, that we ask people to show up by 2:45 to make sure that they can get in before the veterinarian leaves. And we do a monthly microchip clinic to provide lower cost microchip service for the public, because we know how important those things can be for helping reunite pets with their owners once they've been lost. We also do spay and neutering of all of our animals, and have kind of a family spay or neuter program for those people that adopt from us or have had experiences with us. We'll try and spay and neuter their pets at a reduced cost to, again, help reduce that pet overpopulation.
Got it. So we want Bonnie adopted. That's the goal here today.
That's the
Let's
main
get
goal
you
here, is to
adopted.
get Bonnie
Take this cat.
adopted.
If I got to talk like Jerry Lewis from the telethon, we're going to get this cat adopted. So so call Animal Control, come in and see Bonnie, meet her. She's very nice, very soft, very furry.
And you have an adopt-a-thon, speaking of telethons, an adopt-a-thon coming up too, right?
That's right. We have an adopt-a-thon coming up in May. We're hoping Bonnie will be gone by then, but we'll certainly still have lots of other pets that need homes, and we have invited some other rescue groups to join us there, so that not only our pets will get a feature, but also some of the other pets from other facilities will get an opportunity to find a new home.
Well, real quick, somebody's out there watching TV, they think, maybe I want a cat, maybe I want a dog. What kind of questions should they be asking themselves before they come see the animals at Animal Control?
Well, they should certainly think about the financial commitment that's involved, because there are some financial aspects to having a pet, though we would certainly be happy to inform people about the low-cost options for getting veterinary care and things like that. They should think about whether or not they have the time to dedicate to caring for a pet. Certainly dogs can take a little bit more time than cats, because they require the access to the outdoors, which of course cats, you can limit them to being inside and still take care of all of their basic needs. So they should think about that kind of thing, whether they are traveling too much, that sort of thing, but also communicating with their neighbors and things like that, because those things, you can find a solution for them. A lot of people set up networks among their friends. They trade back and forth to help each other when needed, because there's a lot of animals out there needing homes, not just at our facility, but at other rescue groups and other shelters. There's unfortunately more pets than there are homes for them at this point.
Well, Robin, you deal with cute little dogs and cats and bunnies and snakes and turtles like this every day. So I guess what everybody's wondering out there, Karla, is how do you do it? How do you leave there at night and all these animals? I mean, how many animals do you have? Do you take a lot of these animals home with you?
I have 2 of my own pets at home, one dog, one cat. 2 dogs that I have part-time, because they're family dogs that come over to visit. And I foster animals, so I always have extra animals hanging around. And I know what I can do and what I can take care of reasonably, and I feel like it's important to have the time you need to dedicate to animals that you're keeping forever. And I also don't want to take on more than what I can care for properly. So I take all that into consideration. I also feel like by fostering, I get to help a lot more animals than I would be able to if I adopted everything. There's only so many I can legally have, but if I foster, I can foster hundreds of animals in a year span and help that many more animals. So that's one of the really great benefits to fostering, and one of the things that I love about it.
Well, Robin, that's great. Thank you for joining us today. And Bonnie, thank you for joining us. Psst, psst, psst. Good job over there. You did excellent, Bonnie. Great listening. I think you got somebody's attention out there. What do you think?
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Our viewers, either one of our Facebook viewers, maybe on the internet, or somebody that watches us on TV, are going to just come in and Animal Control and say they saw her on Week in Review and now they want to take her home. Robin, thanks again for joining us. Best of luck to you folks. If you want to adopt an animal, our Animal Control facility, of course, is located in Millersville, and you can find out more information on the web at www.aacounty.org. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, there'll be more Week in Review. Stay with us.
Hello, I'm County Executive John Leopold. Accidents caused by drunk driving can be prevented. Only you can make the difference. Drink responsibly and always buckle up.
On average, every month, 22 Marylanders die as a result of drunk driving crashes.
We don't want to be the designated driver for drunk driving crash victims.
But if you choose to drink and drive, we will find you and provide you with a free ride.
Make the right choice, drive sober, and always buckle up. Designate a sober driver, or
we'll designate one for you.
Welcome back. On January 8, 2012, at approximately 8:05 p.m., officers from the Northern District responded to the 300 block of Orchard Avenue in Brooklyn Park for a reported domestic assault. Joining us now is Public Information Officer Justin Mulcahy with further details on the investigation. Justin.
Thanks, Eric. When officers arrived, they located the 37-year-old female victim inside of the residence suffering from multiple stab wounds. They also located the male suspect in the residence suffering from an apparent self-inflicted stab wound. Officers learned that the suspect and the victim were married. Northern District officers arrived on scene and provided first aid to both the victim and the suspect. Fire department personnel arrived and transported both individuals to shock trauma in Baltimore, where they were listed in serious but stable condition. Now, criminal investigation detectives arrived on scene and initiated an investigation. Witness interviews were conducted, search warrants executed, and evidence was gathered and processed. The suspect was in custody under police supervision at shock trauma, and that suspect will be formally charged and processed at a particular time once he's released from the hospital. The suspect is going to be charged in this case with first-degree assault and attempted murder. And that suspect is William Cleveland Ward III, age 43, of the 300 block of Orchard Avenue in Brooklyn Park. Folks, we're going to move on to our second incident. That one took place on January 7th, about 9:11 in the morning. Now, that's when officers from the Northern District responded to the area of Freetown Road and Whitaker Road in Pasadena for a report of an attempted carjacking. Once officers got on scene, they spoke with the female victim, who advised that she was driving through the neighborhood when she was flagged down by a male and female subject. Now, both subjects asked for a ride and entered the victim's vehicle. The male suspect then took the keys out of the ignition and demanded money. The victim did not comply and a struggle then ensued. The male suspect assaulted the victim and exited the vehicle after stealing some cigarettes. Now, the female suspect exited the vehicle and walked off with that male suspect. Responding units canvassed the area and eventually located the two suspects, who were arrested and charged with attempted carjacking, robbery, second-degree assault, theft, and possession of CDS paraphernalia. Those suspects were Raymond Marvin Hall, age 45, of 7906 New Freetown Road in Pasadena, and Nicole Johnson, age 43, of 514 Crane Highway, Suite K in Glen Burnie. Now, folks, as always, if you have any information on any crimes or suspects we mentioned on the show, don't hesitate to call, email, or text your tip to Metro Crime Stoppers hotline. It's available 24 hours a day, toll-free at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP, or you can text message MCS plus your message to crimes at 274-637. You can also visit the website at www.metrocrimestoppers.net. Remember, phone calls are not recorded and callers remain anonymous. You might be eligible for a cash reward of up to $2,000. Back to you, Eric.
Thanks, Justin.
People who care for elderly family members often feel like they're all alone, but that's not the case. Our own Mary Felter joins us now with information on caregiver workshops sponsored by the Department of Aging and Disabilities. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today I'm welcoming back to Week in Review Mary Chapman, who's the director of our National Family Caregiver Support Program, as well as our Respite Care Program at the Department of Aging and Disabilities. Welcome to Week in Review, Mary.
Thank you for having me back.
I wanted you to come today to talk about the upcoming Caregiver Workshop Series, which has been running for several years. What is the purpose of the workshop?
Well, the workshop series for the winter-spring time season is really because we're concerned about the toll that the responsibility and the stresses take on the caregivers. So our Caring for You series is meant to help them deal with those responsibilities and deal with their emotional stress also.
How many workshops are in the series?
There's 3 workshops in each series. We will hold each of the series in each of the senior centers at various times of the day. So we're trying to make it accessible for everyone. You can go online, you can look at the schedule, and pick which location and which time is easiest for you.
And when is the first workshop?
The first workshop actually starts on March 1st. It will be held at the South County Senior Center in Edgewater. We have another workshop series starting in March, which is going to be at the O'Malley Senior Center in Odenton. And the other 5 senior center workshops will be held through April through June.
And what's covered in the workshops?
Well, Mary, the first workshop is actually called Christmas in July. And the reason we titled it that is because many of our caregivers are dealing with folks who have dementia. And folks who have dementia, oftentimes, time means nothing to them. The day of the month, the day of the week, even the year has no meaning to them. And they may become confused, they may become frightened, they may become agitated, which can result in some challenging behaviors. So the first workshop is meant to help folks identify the triggers of what's causing these behaviors, and then help them come up with ways to actually have meaningful activities with the person they're caring for. And then that not only creates some joyful moments for the senior, for the frail person, it also can create those joyous moments for the caregiver also.
And the second workshop is called Stop, I Want to Get Off. Why'd you choose that name?
Well, anyone who has done caregiving or is in the midst of caregiving knows that it can be an emotional roller coaster. And a lot of times the emotions we're feeling just add to our guilt, add to our depression, add to our fear sometimes because we don't know what's normal. So this workshop is going to help people identify the emotions that you're feeling, let you know what's normal, and let you know which ones maybe you should be seeking some help about. It's also going to help you identify that aha moment. And by that we mean it's when you realize that you cannot change the course of the disease that your loved one is going through. And once you discover that, you're able to step back a little bit, look at your own health and your own resources, and better deal with the situation for the rest of the journey.
When you talked about your health, so the last workshop is going to be called Health is More Than Physical. What do you mean by that?
Well, we're also going to delve into your emotional health and your spiritual health, because we know that all three aspects of health, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual, are interrelated and they're dependent on each other. So we need to not only learn to take care of ourselves physically, we need to learn to set some boundaries, and we need to learn to nurture our spirits also.
Is there a charge to attend these workshops?
There is no charge for the workshops, but we do ask people to register in advance. So again, we have enough material available for everyone. They can register by either calling 410-222-4464 extension 3043, or they can go online at www.aacounty.org/aging and just scroll down and they'll see the registration online. And I also want to tell you, Mary, that we do have a sponsor for our O'Malley Center workshop. It's Chris Lee Assisted Living. And we're also opening up the sponsorships to other businesses and organizations. And they can go on our website and find out the contact information if they'd like to sponsor and support our caregivers.
That's good information. And because they do support us, then we can do these programs.
That's exactly right.
Well, I thank you very much, Mary Chaput, for coming on the program today and talking about the caregiving series, which is all about taking care of the caregiver for a change. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer with the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and this is a segment of Week in Review. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary. It's good to know there are others out there experiencing the same challenges as they are, and that they can exchange notes with each other.
Well, it might look cold outside, but it's not too early to start thinking about what those middle schoolers will be doing this summer to keep busy. Our own Carolyn Ryan has some tips on summer activities. Carolyn.
Thanks. Well, we're here at Lake Waterford Park, and I'm here with Wendy Scarborough, who's one of our fabulous recreation supervisors. Wendy, it may seem a little early to be thinking about summer, but many parents are already making summer plans for their kids. And if they've got young kids, they're probably thinking camps and childcare. If they've got teenagers, they may be encouraging their kids to look for a summer job. But what about those middle school kids? Sometimes that's kind of a group that gets overlooked a little bit, but at the Department of Recreation and Parks, we've got several options for kids in that age range to give them kind of a fun, challenging, and rewarding summer. And they can kind of fit them together to make a whole well-rounded summer out of it. We've got some volunteer opportunities, camps, and specialty camps. Tell us about some of the volunteer opportunities.
We have 3 different volunteer opportunities that the youth in the middle school age can take advantage of in the summertime. We have our counselor in training program, which is the program that we have been running for many years. It's run out of our summer fun centers and our day camp programs. We've switched it up a little bit. For the second year now, we're running it in 2-week sessions, which we feel that with what we're offering the middle school kids, there's a lot of different options out there for the parents now to be able to program. So the youth need to be able to work for 2 weeks. The application is online. They do need to apply for all of our volunteer opportunities. And it's something that we work towards gearing the kids to get ready for the world of work. So like you said before, Carolyn, those middle school kids, it's the toughest age I think that there is. They're in between childhood and adulthood, but we don't know quite where they fit in. So that's one program that we have. The other program that we have is our Volunteer Summer Serve program. This is our 4th year for that program. It's a program that we started with the Volunteer Center of Anne Arundel County. And it's a program where we take 30 youth for 2 weeks for 4 sessions, and we basically come to our adaptive day camps, our integrated camps. They work with the special needs kids. They work together as a group of 30. We're looking to build leadership. We have youth who come throughout the whole county to that program. We have buses that run. They actually ride the buses with the day camp kids into camp. So that's another option that we have. And then this year, brand new, which is one of the reasons we're at Lake Waterford Park, we're starting a youth conservation corps. So for 4 weeks in July, for 2 sessions, there'll be 2-week sessions, we're inviting the youth to come to Lake Waterford Park to help us with marking trails, doing some general cleanup. Our program here at Lake Waterford, the park has changed a little bit. It used to be a regional park, it's now a community park, so we're needing a little bit more help with maintenance and with other things. So that is another program that we have. All 3 of those programs are for youth in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade until they turn 16. Like I said before, information is all online. They can go to our website at www.aacounty.org/recparks. They go to the link that says About Us, and there's the volunteer opportunity information listed there.
Those sound like some great programs for kids, building responsibility and learning a lot. Now, we've also got some great camps for kids in that age range. We have our Teens on the Go camp, which this year we're expanding to include kids going into 6th grade through kids going into 9th grade. That's a camp where kids spend actually most of the time on the go, like the name says. They do trips 4 days out of the week, and then on the 5th day they're in camp. We've also got our teen club at Brooklyn Park Middle School for kids who are up in that area. That's kind of a subsidized program for those kids. And tell us a little bit about our Mayo Beach Day Camp as well, another great opportunity for kids in that age group.
Well, as you mentioned, the 2 camps that you mentioned are for those youth that are a little bit more mature. They do go on field trips 4 days of a week. They are expected to be able to handle themselves in the public and, be able to maintain their own money and everything. We also have that middle school group that aren't quite as mature. They may have a disability or they may not, but the parents are just looking for something a little bit more supportive. At Mayo Beach Day Camp, as part of our integrated program, we do welcome that age group. That program is more supportive, as I stated. They come to Mayo Beach, which is a beautiful place down in Edgewater. It's on the bay. They do fishing, canoeing, crabbing, swimming. So it's just another one of those options that I mentioned in the very beginning that we have for the youth in our summer programs. We also have some of our specialty camps that are out there. We have babysitting programs. It's like a week camp for the youth ages 13 and up, I believe, and as well as some programs at the North Arundel Aquatic Center. It's their Youth Guard program that they can get into. And then we also have some other specialty camps that we'll be offering this summer that when you pick up the program guide in February, we'll have many more of those listed.
Great. Well, it sounds like they can really fit together maybe some volunteer opportunities, some camp opportunities, maybe get some skills like the junior guarding or babysitting to move toward employment. So They can get that information again at our website, www.aacounty.org/recparks, or call our office, 410-222-7313, for more information or to register. And I would be remiss in not adding also, we have our summer camp fair coming up where they can get information on all of these programs. That will be February 11th. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Severna Park High School. All of our camps will be represented. Our volunteer programs will be represented, so people can get more information there. Bring the kids. We'll have activities for the kids to do that day, and it's just fun for the whole family, and it's free. So come on out to Severna Park High School on February 11th to get more information, or visit our website. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn. It's feeling warmer in here already, Karla.
And speaking of some warm things, this week the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to more than 1,428 calls for service. This included more than 1,218 emergency medical calls and 112 fire calls. This week, one person was injured and 2 families were displaced by 2 separate fires in the county. With us now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. The first incident occurred just before midnight on Thursday, January 5th, 2012, when Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported dwelling fire in the 300 block of Johnson Farm Lane in the Glen Burnie area of the county. The first unit to arrive on the scene reported visible fire from the front of a 1-story single-family dwelling. In addition, crews also reported a burned patient in the front yard of this residence. An interior fire attack was initiated by the first arriving crews, and in all it took 24 firefighters about 20 minutes to bring the 1-alarm incident under control. The injured patient, a 58-year-old male, suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. He was transported to the burn unit at the Johns Hopkins Bayview Hospital in Baltimore, Priority 2, via ground ambulance. An investigation into the incident revealed that the fire was accidental in nature and was being attributed to careless smoking. A family dog also did perish in the fire. In a second incident, Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to another reported dwelling fire in the 500 block of Crest Park Drive, also in the Glen Burnie area of the county. This incident occurred on 7/20, Monday, January 9th. The first arriving units at this incident were from the nearby South Glen Burnie Fire Station. These units reported fire through the roof of a 1-story split foyer type home. At that time, additional resources were requested, and firefighters began spraying water on neighboring homes to prevent the extension of the fire from the original fire building. An elevated master stream device, which is capable of flowing more than 800 gallons of water per minute, was placed in service to help control and extinguish the fire from one of the fire department ladder trucks. In all, it took 28 firefighters about 40 minutes to bring the all-hands incident under control. There were no injuries as a result of the fire, and the exact cause of the blaze remains under investigation. Although no damage estimates were immediately available, the house and its contents were considered to be a total loss. Karla?
Thanks, Chief.
Well, Mark Chang joins us now, shining his community spotlight on the North County Chamber of Commerce at their annual Black Tie Gala. Mark.
Thanks to both of you in the studio. I'm over here at the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce office in downtown Glen Burnie to get more information on the upcoming annual Presidential Gala. And with me today, I have Fran Schmidt, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, and then I also have Danny Boyd, who is the new President of the Chamber. So thanks to both of you for coming on the show. I know you're very busy business folks out there, and Glen Burnie is such a busy area, and all North County is so busy. But I want to start with you, Fran. Could you tell the viewers out there about the upcoming Presidential Gala?
I'd be happy to. The Northern Anne Arundel County hosts their presidential gala every year, and it's our way of welcoming the new board. It's our way of recognizing the business awards. People have done special things in their businesses through the year, and it's a big party. So it's going to be held on Saturday, January 21st. It's going to be held at La Fontainebleau, which, of course, everyone knows it's a major catering area right here in Glen Burnie. Goes from 7 p.m. until 12:30 midnight.
Wow, that sounds really fun. I see the poster here. Look, it's Putting on the Ritz, celebrating 65 years, and it's $95 per person?
That's correct. I'll still honor that $95 price. But yes, putting on the Ritz. This is a formal event. We have a red carpet that people walk on when they come into the event. It is a seated dinner. Starts with appetizers, seated dinner, open bar. We have as I said, our dinner. We have our business awards, and then we go into the fun part. The doors open. We have a complete gambling, casino gaming, tables and fun events, and we also have a fantastic dance band this year. So if you're interested in dancing, having a good time, trying your luck with play money, no cash involved, it's a great opportunity to just come out, meet people, and have a fun evening.
Great. That sounds lots of fun, and I guess sort of like off the James Bond type thing here. Tell you what's the telephone number and email address, website that people get more information?
Okay, you can contact the Chamber of Commerce, and our telephone number is 410-766-8282. Our website is also on here. It's www.naaccc.com.
Great. Thanks a lot, Fran. Thanks for your leadership in the Chamber. It's a very great relationship that we have with the Office of Community and Constituent Services. So I appreciate working with you on a daily basis. And Danny, congratulations on becoming the new president of the Chamber of Commerce. Danny, could you tell the viewers out there some of the goals that you have under your new leadership?
Certainly, Mark. I'd be glad to. As president of the Chamber, I hope to work closely with the County Council in their formulation of new legislation that would affect the business members of the Chamber of Commerce. At the same time, I hope to increase the acknowledgement of the northern part of the county in Brooklyn Park area in particular, of the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce. And we want to work toward filling up some of the vacant storefronts, not only in the Brooklyn Park area, but in the downtown Glen Burnie area as well.
Great. Well, those are some great goals, and we look forward to supporting you with those goals. Could you tell viewers out there who are not members or members of the Chamber, why is it so important to be part of the Chamber of Commerce?
I think it's important for all businesses to be part of the Chamber of Commerce because we can be a tool where they can use us as a face before the legislative bodies, whether it be the County Council or the Maryland Legislature. And at the same time, as other issues come up as to availability of space in certain areas or the infrastructure that's available for different businesses, we can be of assistance to them.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fran and Danny, for both coming on the show. I know you're very busy again. But this is a great opportunity. It's a great event, the Presidential Gala. So mark it on your calendars and call the Chamber office and come on out and network and meet meet a ton of actually other business leaders and community leaders in your community here. And it's a great opportunity. And also, if you're not a member of the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce, please consider. And as Fran said, you can give them a call at 410-766-8282. Reporting from Glen Burnie at the Northern Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mark. Again, you can find out more about this event at www.naaccc.org. That's NorthAnneArundelChamber.org.
Well, before we close out this week's show, we have another bit of good news to pass on about recycling. This week, the Department of Public Works held its annual middle school 3D recycling sculpture contest and crowned this year's winners. The event was held at Old Mill South, and the entries get better every year. Third place went to Alexis from Chesapeake Bay Middle with her Frosty made from paper products. We also like her jersey. Second place went to Serena from Old Mill Middle South. Her homage to father-daughter sleigh ride featured a Cheerios box on top. And the winner was Winter from Old Mill Middle North, who made this sculpture of a girl getting a snowboard for Christmas. Hint, hint. Winner won a $180 gift certificate that could go a long way towards that new snowboard. So congratulations to all of our winners.
Great job. Congratulations. But snowboards, there's no snow this year, Karla.
No, we had a very small amount the other night.
Loved it. They were all over the place.
And then it melted by the next morning.
But it is a big weekend coming up. Do you know how big this weekend is? Do you realize that this is bigger than Christmas? It's bigger than New Year's. It is Festivus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's the Ravens game.
It's Festivus.
In the playoffs.
That is the playoffs. Festivus Maximus is the playoffs.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of us, folks. It's huge. This is the first time we've had a playoff game in Baltimore in 5 years, home playoff game. And we're going to win this weekend, of course, folks. But it is just amazing what it does for the local economy, what it does for the spirit of the city, the spirit of the surrounding suburbs.
Are you going to be there?
Oh, of course. The bus leaves Bush Avenue at 7 a.m. I'll be on that bus, load it down, ready to do some tailgating, and game starts
ready
at 1
to go.
o'clock. Ready to go. Ready to have a good time.
Yeah.
Watch us on TV.
I will. I'll look
All
for you.
70,000
Everybody,
of us.
look for Erik Robey.
I'll be the one in purple. Well, folks, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes or like us on Facebook at Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.